Hey everyone, welcome back to my jazz practice series. I'm going to call this one the 12-key A section. And we're going to look at the classic standard, All the Things You Are. As many of you already probably know, the first two A sections of this tune sound something like this. So we end on this G major thing, right? How would we keep this going, theoretically? Well, looking back at the transition from the first A section to the second, all we did was we changed that C major to C minor, right? C major 7 to C minor 7. So let's just change the G major to G minor. So here's how that transition sounds. All right, let's take a look at the theory here. So the first chord of the A section, of any of them, is the sixth chord of the key center we're in. So think back to the very beginning, we start on that F minor 7, that's just the sixth chord of A flat major, right? So, okay, what is G minor the sixth chord of? And that's B flat major. So now we're gonna do the A section, this fabricated third one, in B flat major. We've already done it in A flat, that was the first one. Then we did E flat, that was the second one. So now it's in B flat major, right? Notice how we're kind of moving on this circle of fifths. More on that later. So here's how this third fabricated A section sounds. All right, so this one ends on D major, which means if we'd want to do a fourth one, we'd start it with, guess what, D minor 7, just the sixth chord of F, so that means this key center would be F. Here's how that sounds. All right, so going back to what we were looking at before, we're just going up in fifths. All right, we started in A flat, we went to E flat, then B flat and F. Those last two were kind of those fabricated ones. Well, let's continue the pattern. So F to C, then G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp. Actually, it's called D flat because then D flat gets us back to A flat, which is where we started. And actually, if you count all those, that's 12. So you're getting all 12 keys. Essentially, by doing this exercise, if you do the whole thing, you're playing the A section of All the Things You Are in all 12 keys, but in this harmonically connected way. The 12-key way, that's why I call it the 12-key exercise. So you might be asking, what's the point of this? Why go through all this work, right? I actually think there's a lot of reasons. Number one, this is a very common standard with lyrics, so chances are you're probably gonna play this, or you already have, with the vocalist who will wanna do it in some weird key like B or something. So this gets you familiarized with already kind of changing things up like that. Two, this is really good for learning and reinforcing how melody notes relate to the chords. Most of the time, the melody is just the third, right? Similarly, you get really used to navigating chord changes through these fourths or 2/5s, which 2/5s are basically just fourth motion, right? And that is everywhere, not just in jazz, but even in a lot of pop stuff too. So three, it breaks you out of a rut of playing the same tune, the same way, the same thing all the time, right? Trust me, I've been there, I'm still there a lot of the time. But try just picking one of these new keys every day if that's a lot to go through all that, if it seems like a lot. That's what I've been kind of doing. I might make one of my goals to be able to go through this whole thing, all 12 of them, kind of like what I laid out before, without stopping. Four, this one's not really, I guess, a reason per se, but just try this with other songs. One that immediately came to mind as I was writing this out is Joy Spring. The first A section is in F, and then it goes up chromatically to F sharp or G flat, well, you could just keep going up, right? Go through all 12 eventually, right? So I'm sure there are many more benefits of doing this, and actually please comment below if you can think of any more, or if you have any critique for the ones that I made. I am all for constructive criticism on anything, so please comment below or subscribe, all that stuff, whatever. So I hope this was helpful and maybe inspired someone out there to pick up the horn or the mallets or whatever your instrument is, and practice something new or something in a different way. All right, thanks for watching.